Welcome to the deep dive. If you're involved at all in global business travel, or even if you just track real estate trends in the Asian Pacific, you've seen it.
Oh, absolutely. The whole landscape has shifted.
The way we live and work abroad it's fundamentally changed. I mean, the corporate team or the entrepreneur moving to a city like Hong Kong for, say, a few months.
Not just a few days.
Exactly. They need more than a standard hotel room. They need something flexible, something with amenities, a place to actually settle in.
And that's really the crux of the market shift, isn't it? For decades, your options were pretty limited. Professionals who needed a place for more than a week or two were looking at these really costly long-term leases or, kind of sterile, isolating serviced apartments.
But now we're seeing this hybrid model emerge. And our focus for this deep dive is a company that's just, well, aggressively dominating that space in Hong Kong, Dash Living.
Right. We've got a whole stack of sources here detailing their strategy.
And our mission is pretty straightforward. We want to analyze this really explosive expansion, especially their strategy of converting existing buildings. And we need to decode how they managed a reported 200% year-on-year growth in booking values.
Especially during such a disruptive period.
We want to know how they did it, and more importantly, why it signals a much bigger change for the entire APAC hospitality sector.
And I think the first thing to look at, the development that really brings it all into focus, is the move that shows they aren't just, nibbling around the edges of the market.
No, they're directly challenging the big, established hotel players.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Dash Living just announced a massive strategic conversion right in the heart of Hong Kong Island.
A huge move.
They're taking over the management and completely rebranding the Travelodge Central Hotel on Hollywood Road. This isn't just adding rooms. It feels like a statement.
It's more than a statement, it's a blueprint. A blueprint for efficiency in a city where land is incredibly scarce. We're talking about the former Travelodge Central, a really well-known spot on Hong Kong's iconic Hollywood Road.
And they're just repurposing it, rebranding it as Dash Living on Hollywood.
Immediately.
In real estate, it's always location, location, location. And Hollywood Road is about as prime as it gets.
Yeah.
But why convert an existing hotel? Why not, build a new purpose-built co-living tower? What makes this so savvy?
That's where we have to dig a bit deeper. In Hong Kong, speed to market is everything, and land is just prohibitively expensive.
Right.
So by converting an existing functioning hotel, they just bypass years of complex zoning applications and the immense capital needed for a ground-up development.
So the efficiency isn't just strategic, it's financial.
It's deeply financial. They leverage everything that's already there, the plumbing, the fire codes, the elevators, to quickly inject 148 rooms into their portfolio. I mean, this transition is set to be done in the second half of 2022.
Which is lightning fast.
It's unbelievably fast compared to a new build.
That speed is impressive. But here's a question. If you're inheriting an old hotel footprint, are you compromising on the perfect co-living layout just to get that prime location? Is the address worth whatever friction you might inherit operationally?
That is the tension point, isn't it? And the answer, at least according to the sources, is that the location premium is simply non-negotiable for their target demographic.
The professionals, the corporate teams.
Exactly. People who value connectivity and easy commute. So yeah, the friction of adapting existing rooms is completely offset by the speed, the cost savings, and the ability to immediately offer a flagship product on the island.
And crucially, the sources really highlight that this wasn't done alone. This huge conversion is the result of working with institutional real estate investment managers.
And this detail is absolutely critical. This is the market signal you really need to pay attention to. When institutional money, we're talking major capital backs a conversion like this.
It validates the model.
It validates the entire flexible living sector as a secure, high-growth asset class. They aren't just speculating anymore. They see predictable returns here.
So the institutions aren't just giving the founder, Aaron Lee, a vote of confidence. They're basically saying that traditional hotels might be underperforming compared to what you can get from this flexible extended stay model.
Precisely. This shift tells us investors believe the demand for this kind of blended living part serviced apartment, part flexible lease is structurally sound and, importantly, scalable. The institutional backing transforms this from just an internal growth story into a major market trend.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because that efficiency and that backing, well, they fueled some truly explosive growth figures. Let's talk about the hard numbers, that 200% figure.
Right, the 200% year-on-year growth in booking values they reported in 2021. That's the kind of statistic that demands a deeper look.
Because when you see a number that high, you have to ask.
Is it coming from a low baseline, or is it real market acceleration?
And given that this growth applies to an already established portfolio of 1,300 unit serviced apartments, co-living homes, hotel rooms, that 200% number suggests genuine success, not just startup hype.
Absolutely. It wasn't just some simple post-COVID rebound. This growth validated their whole yield strategy in Hong Kong by successfully targeting that underserved corporate and professional demographic.
And to give some context, the company was founded by serial entrepreneur Aaron Lee back in 2014. They've moved with incredible pace since then.
An incredible pace. They currently manage and operate over 900 units across 2 countries, Hong Kong and Singapore.
And the Singapore expansion was through a strategic acquisition, right?
It was. They now have over 100,000 square feet under management. And what's fascinating is how quickly they managed to scale and get backing from investors like Mindworks Ventures.
They saw a gap.
A fundamental gap in the market. Professionals needing temporary housing didn't want the rigidity of a 2-year lease, but they also didn't want the isolation of a standard transient hotel room. Their model fills that exact need for people who have to live and work abroad for, more than just a few days.
Which brings us right to the core of what they're offering. I mean, we use this term co-living, but what does that actually mean for the tenant? The person who just landed in Hong Kong for his 6-month project. We have to get past the jargon.
The sources show that the success really lies in this carefully engineered balance that addresses 2 key demands of the modern urban professional.
Okay, what are those 2 demands?
The first one is community. They create structured opportunities for tenants to live, to mingle, connect, and engage with other like-minded people in shared common spaces.
So it solves that isolation problem you mentioned. It provides an instant network.
An instant network in a new city. But, and this is critical, the second factor is private sanctuary.
I see. So it's not just a fancy dorm room. It's a guaranteed retreat.
Precisely. Tenants can always retreat back to their own private rooms with their own facilities and services. This blend makes sure that while the community is there if you want it, it never infringes on the professionalism or the need for privacy that you need for high-pressure corporate work.
So it's the comfort of home with the network of a shared office.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, but community and sanctuary sounds great on a website. How do they actually engineer that? Is it just a common room with a coffee machine, or is it more structured? Because in a city like Hong Kong, privacy is currency. How do they make sure the shared spaces don't just erode that?
That's where the operational difference really kicks in. The sources pointed out that Dash Living hires dedicated community managers, not just concierges.
A community manager, what's the difference?
Well, it shifts the job description from just operational support like getting you a taxi to social facilitation. They organize events, they manage digital platforms for residents, and they kind of mediate the shared spaces to ensure it's a friction-free networking environment. And the physical design, like that open-air deck we'll talk about, is specifically designed to encourage interaction, but not force it.
That subtle difference, community manager versus concierge, that's a really powerful insight into the business model. It proves they're selling an integrated lifestyle network, not just square footage.
Yes. And that makes the Hollywood Road conversion all the more strategic because it puts that very model right where the demand is most intense.
Which leads us to their broader strategy, because Hollywood Road isn't a one-off. The expansion shows a really sustained multi-location approach across these high-demand districts.
Exactly. The Hollywood Road news came right after the successful launch of their TST project over on Carnarvon Road in Kowloon.
And then there's the other big recent project in Kowloon, the one in Mong Kok. That gives us a really specific picture of their standard setup, doesn't it?
Correct. The Mong Kok property, it's on Argyle Street, another area famous for high foot traffic, incredible transit links, right near the MTR and landmarks like Langham Place.
So it's another example of targeting a dense commercial hub. So what are the specifics there? What's the unit mix in Mong Kok? What does the tenant actually get?
That location has 36 units and it's split evenly, 18 studios and 18 one-bedroom apartments. So that mix caters to both single professionals and maybe corporate couples or small teams.
And they come fully equipped.
Everything. Modern amenities, custom furniture. It's all designed so you can basically walk in with a suitcase and start working immediately.
And what's the physical differentiator there, the thing that ties back to that community element?
It's the dedicated tenants club with an open-air deck. And this isn't just a tiny balcony, it's a planned amenity designed specifically to enhance that community living experience.
Right.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, Dash Living isn't just grabbing space on Argyle Street or Hollywood Road. They are strategically targeting these high-density, high-demand areas and then adding specific curated value through these community facilities.
Which justifies their pricing and keeps that growth trajectory going.
Exactly.
So when we pull all these different threads together, what does it all mean? We've seen a company hit this phenomenal 200% growth in booking values by mastering a strategic conversion model
Taking traditional fixed-use assets, like the Travelodge Central,
and converting them into these flexible co-living properties that the market is clearly hungry for.
it means Dash Living has perfected the art of delivering these extended stay solutions that cater precisely to what the modern mobile workforce needs. By leveraging institutional partnerships and perfecting this blend of integrated services and community architecture, well, they're rapidly solidifying their position.
They're becoming the go-to provider in Hong Kong and the wider APAC market.
They're proving that this unique fusion hotel service, residential comfort, is the future for professionals and corporate teams who need that flexibility.
So they're basically spotting underutilized traditional assets and turning them into the solution that the modern business traveler is actively looking for. It's a brilliant example of identifying and exploiting market friction.
And that leads us to the final provocative thought we want to leave you with, especially if you're tracking real estate investment trends.
Go on.
Given this clear, demonstrable success in converting traditional hotels into high-growth co-living properties, what does this signal about the long-term viability and valuation of other established, non-flexible hospitality assets in major Asian Pacific cities?
You're asking if the best use for an underperforming hotel is no longer to be a hotel.
Is its highest and best use now immediate conversion into flexible living?
Wow. That question changes the entire calculus for hotel ownership across Asia. It's a trend worth watching very, very closely. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.
See you next time.